Hey guys, it's Pastor Ted. Man, watching the news, seeing everything that's going on with the coronavirus, it's getting crazy. And I thought that as your pastor, I wanted to talk to you about it, give you some biblical perspective on the things that are happening, and talk to you about some events that are happening at the church and how recent events are impacting what's going on with our church services and events that we're holding. So with all that in mind, I want to say this. Let me start here. I'm not qualified to make a statement about the severity or the scope or the management of this virus on a medical level. But I'll tell you, there's one thing that I do know and that I am qualified to talk to you about, and that's to talk to you about our God. Listen, our God is a God of peace. He has made you and me as children of His peace through Jesus Christ, who's the Prince of Peace. And indeed, Jesus Christ Himself said this. He said, "These things I've spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." And as things in this world get more chaotic and more hectic, you and I have an opportunity to live out the gospel of peace. And as we do that, we can shine the light of Christ in a powerful way. So I want to encourage you, don't panic. Don't let the events that are happening in the news freak you out. God is on the throne. He's in control. The Apostle Paul said this to Timothy. He said, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And certainly that's true. And we can cling to the Lord's promises. Now, having said that, the Bible also commends the exercise of prudence, and we are to exercise prudent decision making. The writer of Proverbs, Proverbs 27:12 says that a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. And so there are prudent steps that we can take. Now, with that in mind, I want to first offer a little bit of perspective. As of this recording, the number of cases of the coronavirus, COVID-19, in California remains low. There's about 40 million residents in the state of California. 201 of those residents are in fact currently infected with the coronavirus. Only 3 of those, that 201, actually live in Riverside County. They live out in Coachella Valley. But nonetheless, you've likely heard by now that the California public health officials have issued a mandate. And the mandate that they've issued is that events or gatherings of over 250 people have to either be canceled or postponed statewide. And they've implemented this through the end of March. And they want to spread the communication of the coronavirus. So accordingly, we had to make some decisions and take some steps here at the church, and I want to share those with you now. Beginning this Sunday for our weekend services, we're going to implement the following things. Number one, we are going to have to limit our seating in our sanctuary to under 250. And so we're going to be spacing 249 chairs out in our sanctuary with the appropriate spacing for the social distancing that officials are asking that we maintain. So we're going to be doing that. We're also going to be establishing hand sanitizer stations positioned throughout the campus. We already have this before all of this, but we're going to increase those hand sanitizer stations. We're also going to start this Sunday live streaming our weekend services, and so our services are going to be available online. All of our weekend services, our Saturday night service at 5 p.m., our Sunday morning service at 9, our Sunday morning service at 11, all of those are going to be live streamed. So you can access those online. As well, our communion elements here in the sanctuary, we're going to limit those to individually sealed packages. You might recognize them. We do this on Easter at our Easter services, so we're going to be using the Easter communion packages for all of our communion services. And then finally, we're no longer going to be passing the offering basket during our services. And so as an alternative, what we would encourage you to do is that as you worship the Lord in your giving, we would encourage you to utilize online giving or our text to give options. or you can simply place your offering into one of the wall-mounted tithe boxes. And for those of you that choose to stay away from church for health reasons, or maybe you've got the flu or something like that, then we would encourage you to utilize both our online streaming and our online giving options, and we'll put those links here in the video for you so you can know how to access the messages online, how to text to give, how to access the online giving. In addition to all of these steps, we're going to continue all of our regular practices. We already have in place very strict sanitizing policies and procedures that we practice throughout the campus as well as in our children's ministries. So that's going to continue. That being said, again, I want to emphasize, we want you to use wisdom. Especially we want to protect the most vulnerable in our fellowship, those who are more advanced in years or those who have pre-existing medical conditions. So if you're not well, or if you've had a fever recently, we'd ask you to please stay home and watch the services online. In this particular context, sharing is not caring, right? So we'd ask you to do that. As always, I want you to know that we as a church, our aim is to be a safe place for our church family. We want to be good neighbors to those in our community. And so by making these adjustments to our services, as I've just described, it's our hope that we can better serve our more vulnerable members and to play a small part in fighting this new contagion in what is really a new era in which we're living now. In times like this, I think it's a great reminder that our community as a fellowship of believers, it's not based on a church service, but upon the reality of God's redeeming love. And there's surely going to be lots of opportunities that arise for you in the coming days and weeks where you can be an ambassador of the love of Christ to one another, to your neighbors, to your friends, to those in your community. I would encourage all of us to be agents of ambassadors of Jesus Christ and to be vessels of His love to those that we come in contact with. And toward that end, during this time, if you have needs, if you require any sort of biblical discipleship or encouragement, counseling, if you have fears, you need somebody to pray with, if you have physical needs, don't hesitate to reach out to the church. We want to be here, be available for you as the family of God. And above all else, listen, let's continue to pray for God to bring healing to the sick and to the broken in this world. Those who are healing both spiritually and physically. We want to pray for that. And I just want you guys to know that I'm thankful for you. I love you. And I just pray for God's peace to be upon you. Thanks, guys.